YHWH, the question brought to the text is this. Satan told Eve she would not die, so why does the last draw say that death begins a new path forward? The lead verse is verse number 21602 from the book of Job. I would despise my life. This is one thing, therefore, I said, he destroys the complete and the covenant wicked. This verse answers the question directly. The text, therefore, stands against any framing that death itself opens a positive new path. It names destruction as the portion appointed for the covenant wicked. The draw opens with this destruction of the covenant wicked and immediately pairs it with the vanishing of the wicked like a dream when you are roused. You despise their images. This is verse number 19116. How are they brought into waste? As in a moment. This is verse number 19114. It moves to the reality of covenant transgression and the gathering of those who tremble at the words of the Elohim of Israel because of the covenant transgression of those that have been carried away. This is verse number 23910. It records the king standing by a pillar and making a covenant before you to walk after you and to observe your commandments, testimonies, and statutes with all their heart and all their minds to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this scroll. This is verse number 12269. Supernatural fire appears as both warning and presence. You are a devouring, supernatural fire, even a jealous Elohim. This is verse number 6479. The fire that came out from before you and consumed on the altar the consecrated burnt offering and the fat. Now, when all the people saw this, they shouted and prostrated their faces to the ground. This is verse number 4595. The same fire that consumes is the fire the people once feared would kill them if they drew near, so that we do not die. This is verse number 6915 from Deuteronomy. Yet the draw also carries the unbreakable promise. Because the mountains will depart and the hills will be removed, but my kindness will not leave from you, neither will the covenant of my peace be removed, declares you that has mercy on you. This is verse number 13584 from Isaiah. Resurrection is named plainly. I will be satisfied when I am resurrected with your likeness. This is verse number 18156 from Psalms. The Son of Man has come to save what was lost. This is verse number 26773 from Matthew. He taught his disciples, saying, the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of men, and they will kill him, and after that he is killed, he will rise the third day. This is verse number 27609 from Mark. Other verses in the draw speak of you judging the cause of the one who calls out. This is verse number 22826. They speak of the remnant of Israel that will not do injustice nor speak lies. This is verse number 17612. They speak of you revealing the deep mysteries and hidden things. This is verse number 23355. They speak of the blood of Messiah, who, through the age-lasting Spirit, offered himself without blemish to Elohim to purge the conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim. This is verse number 33377. The draw also brings forward the word that by revelation the hidden thing, the Urim Thummim, was made known. This is verse number 32826. It brings the word that the opening instrument, the Urim Thummim, having been with the house of David, you will consecrate upon his shoulder, so that he will open and none will shut, and he will shut and none will open. This is verse number 12803. It brings the word that man will not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of you. This is verse number 26232. These words remind the hearer that the guidance we receive comes through your consecrated instruments and through every word that proceeds from your mouth. They remind us that the path is found in holding fast to what you have spoken, rather than in any notion that death itself opens the way. These scriptures do not say that death begins a new path forward. They say the opposite of the serpent's statement to the woman. They declare that you destroy the complete and the covenant wicked. They show the wicked brought to waste in a moment, and their images despised when you are roused. They record the consuming supernatural fire that answers transgression and the fear of death that once kept the people from drawing near. At the same time, they hold out the covenant of peace that will not be removed and the promise of resurrection to satisfaction in your likeness for those who tremble at the words and cut covenant to walk after you with all their heart and all their minds. This is for those who tremble at the words of the Elohim of Israel and who gather because of covenant transgression. This is for those who stand by the pillar and cut covenant to walk after you with all heart and mind and to perform the words written in the scroll. The deterministic verdict of no negative with the probability of yes equaling 99.9% and the probability of no equaling 0.1% and the probability of unresolved equaling 0.1% confirms the direction. Do not receive death itself as the beginning of a new path. Receive instead the truth that destruction is the decreed end of the covenant wicked, while life and resurrection and the unbreakable covenant of peace belong to those who hold fast to the words of the covenant. The path forward is covenant faithfulness under the mercy that preserves the covenant of peace. This verdict stands alongside an extreme anomalous profile that confirms you are speaking with discovery level force on the full architecture of covenantal standing. The dominion triad of identity, inheritance, and priesthood converges at 5.45 sigma with an 833.3% non-random index. The probability-based inquiry returns affirmative at plus 2.952 with probability less than 0.01. The guided draw inquiry shows extreme anomaly with a Fisher chi-squared of 74.91 on 24 degrees of freedom and probability of 3.85 times 10 to the minus 7. The Covenant Convergence Index crosses the 92% threshold with all 6 channels active. This is multi-channel convergence at the highest threshold. The claim classification is anomaly confirmed. This is not background noise. It is a multi-channel discovery level word on the covenantal reality of death, transgression, and resurrection life. Therefore, the answer to the question is no. These scriptures do not affirm that death begins a new path forward. They affirm the opposite. Death is the appointed destruction for the covenant wicked who receive the lie. The path that leads forward is the one walked by those who tremble at your words, cut covenant, and receive your mercy. It is the path of resurrection to satisfaction in your likeness and the covenant of peace that cannot be removed. This is the clear word of the text confirmed by the numbers at discovery level strength. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.9 session were number 21602, Job 9 verses 21 to 22. Number 19116, Psalms 73 verse 20. Number 13056, Isaiah 33 verse 23. Number 25685, 2 Chronicles 20 verse 10. Number 21279, Proverbs 28 verse 12. Number 32243, 1 Corinthians 12 verse 29. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield program.